Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different than what you would normally see on my channel. It's completely not beauty related or fashion or jewelry or hair, anything like that. I promised you guys this video a while back before I had left YouTube. I said I was going to make it, and I honestly forgot all about it. And since I've been back, I have to say that aside from what's in my purse, this is probably the one video that I get the most comments and private messages and emails about. And you know, a while ago I was like really excited to make it, and then I kind of started thinking, and I didn't want people to get the wrong impression by me making it, but I figured, I did promise it, and I know there's so many people that hopefully could take one simple thing from this or a piece of advice. So like I said, it never mattered to me. It doesn't matter to me how many subscribers I have. If this message or video helps one person, then I feel as though my job here is done. So I'm going to go forth and make this video, but I just want to preface by saying I am in no way an expert or a know-it-all, or I don't think that I know everything, and everything I'm going to tell you might not be right or whatever, but I'm just going to share with you my experiences, my opinions, my thoughts, and my advice. And like I said, you can take it for what it's worth, or you could completely shut this video off now and not care to hear what I have to say. And I totally would respect that and understand it, because let's face it, most of you that are watching my videos are here because you are into the beauty industry, which is what I am too. But for those of you that might not know me or might be new to YouTube and watching my channel, YouTube is not my life at all by any means. It's something I do on the side. It's just a really fun hobby. Has it turned into a lot of different opportunities for me? Yes. But at the same time, I do hold a full-time job outside of this whole YouTube community that some people might not know about. And I work every single day, different hours. I work a full-time job. So as much as I enjoy the beauty community, I could never make a full-time job out of it, just because I personally would really miss the human-to-human interaction, and I would get really bored talking to my camera all day. So I kind of want to just tell you, without going into too much personal detail of like where I went to school and what I do now, where I work, I kind of want to just go into my experiences and things I've learned along the way from college into finding a career that I love and that I'm passionate about. Things other people have taught me, things that I took from classes and stuff like that, because the number one thing I always get asked is what I do for a living. I think a lot of people think they know what I do, but really nobody knows what I do. And I kind of want to keep it that way, and I hope that you guys will understand and respect that. As much as I love sharing a lot of my life with you and parts of it, I don't want to share everything, because this is, you know, an internet thing, and I don't know who's watching, and I just have to, for my own safety, be safe about the information that I'm giving out. So I hope that you guys will understand that. But I'm going to try to give you as much detail as possible without telling you every little thing. So I will start out by telling you that after high school, I started college right away. I went to a 4-year university, and I graduated with my Bachelor's of Business Administration. Times have changed a lot now. Before, that was never a degree you could graduate with, but a lot of business schools are now allowing you to graduate. And I majored in marketing. I originally started out as a pharmaceutical undergrad. I wanted to be a pharmacist, and the university that I went to was huge. The classes were huge. I remember my lectures were like 500 or 600 kids deep, and I was always I came from not a small town, but my classes in high school were like maybe 25, 30 kids, and I really got to know my professors, and they got to know me, and I liked that. And I never felt scared to go to them after class for help or anything like that. And I need that. I can't be in a class of 600 kids and be completely lost and not have some kind of relationship with my professor. And I don't like that my professors didn't know me from the next person sitting next to me. That just wasn't for me. I know some people can do really well in a huge lecture and can really teach themselves a lot of things, but for me personally, I needed that more one-on-one thing. So after my freshman year, I studied my butt off, like pulled all-nighters, studied so hard. I just wasn't seeing the grades that I wanted and expected to see. So I really had to start thinking about making a change. I've always been an overachiever, if you will. I've always been super hard on myself. Even through high school, I was always way harder on myself than my parents ever were. And my parents were pretty tough, and they expected a lot out of me, which I think is appropriate. But I mean, if I would get a B, I would be upset because it wasn't an A. Like, it was just never good enough until I had straight A's. And I did graduate from my university with honors, like cum laude or something, and I'm really proud of that, and it's a huge accomplishment. It looks great on a resume. I think I know I have a lot of younger viewers, and I know the biggest question is kind of like, how did you stay motivated, and what were some of your techniques? And I understand that, being in a four-year college, living with some of my best friends, and basically partying. And when I mean partying, I just mean hanging out, having fun, having sleepovers, staying up late, going out to dinner, going to a bar. There are so many distractions that can get in the way of your studies, and it's so easy to do that. But I guess for me, my parents really supported me a lot through college, and I was really fortunate of that. And so I always kind of was hard on myself just because I didn't want to let them down, and I didn't want to ever make them feel like they wasted time and money on me. A lot of my friends whose parents helped them through college were the same way. And then I had some friends and people that I knew that slacked off and just figured, well, I'm not paying, so I'm going to just party my way through and have a good time. And for me, that wasn't acceptable. A lot of the friends that I had that paid and put themselves through college really were really hard on themselves as well, because when it's your own money on the line, it makes the world of difference. So that was the biggest thing for me. I didn't want to let my parents down. I wanted to make them proud, and I wanted to feel accomplished. You guys know I love to shop. I have very expensive taste, and I will be the first to admit that. And one thing for me, even before I started dating guys, even back in high school, I just always was set on the fact that I would never need a man to financially support me. I never wanted to feel like I had to rely on someone else for my well-being and for my finances. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom for 18 years. She went back to work once we were all out of the house, and I totally respect that. And at some point, I do too want to be a stay-at-home mom, but for only a short amount of time, like until my kids are in school. And there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom at all. It's just, for me, I was just always very career-oriented, very set on getting an education and wanting to be able to support myself. I never wanted to depend on someone. So I think that's a huge part of why I strived so hard and was very dedicated. I just kind of knew what I wanted. And I went after it. I mean, I really worked my butt off, and I have to say, putting in all that time and work and money into school really paid off for me. I landed an amazing job and was given amazing opportunities through that, and I think that's the key. I think it's so common now, everybody, a ton of people go to college and graduate, but it's the experiences that you have and the people that you know that really are going to set you apart from the others when you get down to that interview process and you're interviewing for the job of your dreams. And one thing I remember, freshman orientation, the one thing that I learned and I will always take with me is, it's not what you know, but who you know. And it's so true. I can't even tell you how true that is. Looking back, I was always like, well, if I graduate with a 4.0, like, I could land a great job. That's not the case. If somebody has a way lower GPA than you but knows people high up in companies, they're going to have a way better advantage than you. So you really have to set yourself apart, and you really have to network. That is huge. So aside from really working hard at my studies, I don't want to say that by any means I never felt like I was missing out on college. Like, you just really have to become very time-oriented and regimented, and then that is something that you need to get used to, because in college, for the most part, you're away. I mean, if you are, I was away from home, and it was great. I didn't have anyone telling me what to do, telling me what time to go to bed, asking me what time I stayed out until. I mean, I was basically on my own, but I also didn't take advantage of that, and I really had to set myself up with a schedule that worked. You know, I didn't want my weekends to be full of studying, so I really buckled down and got my stuff during the week so that on the weekends I could relax, I could hang out with friends, I could go out, I could do whatever I wanted, I didn't feel guilty. But going back to the whole like networking thing, I think it's really important to get involved in your school. I was involved in the American Marketing Association, which I'm pretty sure is probably at every business school now. And basically it was just like we had meetings every Friday where a guest speaker from someone in the industry would come in and talk to us. And from there I got a great internship, and I just, you know, you just get to talk to them one-on-one. You get to learn new things. You get to learn new things about the industry, maybe jobs that you would like, jobs that you know you wouldn't like. You get to network with several peers. You never know who they know. So I think a lot of it was just getting involved, getting out there. I mean, I have a very outgoing personality, so it was very easy and natural for me. And I know there's a lot of people that might be way more introverted than me, and that's fine. But for me, every job that I have had, well, aside from the one I'm in now, it was because I knew somebody within the company. And it wasn't because I just knew someone and they got me right in. I mean, they might have helped to get me the interview, but I really had to sell myself in the interview. And my college specifically, I have to say, I'm very fortunate. They really helped to network you as an individual and hook you up with these companies. So I had a lot of companies coming to my campus and doing on-site interviews, and I had a whole career center devoted to perfecting my resume, helping me figure out what I wanted to do. My advisor and I were really close. Like, he always knew what was going on, my grades, if I had questions, if I had to take a class in the summer to make up for being behind because I changed my major. Like, I was just very involved. So that would be my number one piece of advice. Get involved. Get to know your professors. I still keep in touch with some of my professors. Emails. It's so crazy. When I first started college, I was set out to do pharmaceuticals, and I thought I originally wanted to be a pharmaceutical rep. And then the more and more I started talking to my professors, and I ended up switching to marketing my sophomore year in college, and my business classes were like 30 kids, and it was one-on-one. A lot of the professors I had repeated. I had one specific professor, and I remember I was telling him that I wanted to get into the pharmaceutical industry. He had worked for AstraZeneca for like 30 years, and he basically just told me the ins and outs, the goods, the bad, and not talked me out of going into it, but really shed some light on what it actually is, and it made me realize it's not what I want to do. Had I not had that conversation and that relationship with him, I probably would have went down the path of trying to get into the pharmaceutical industry and probably would have been miserable. It's changed a lot from what it used to be and from what I thought it was. The FDA's like really cracked down on what reps can bring in, what reps can talk about, and it just wasn't for me. Not that there's anything wrong with being a pharmaceutical rep, but I just decided that it wasn't for me. The whole reason I chose marketing was because you can do pretty much anything with a marketing degree. And pairing with that, my business degree, studying a business major, you get a taste of everything. Aside from your marketing classes, I had finance classes, I had accounting classes, I had a class on HR, I had a class on sales. Like, you basically get everything. So you get a taste of everything. And then my electives were all marketing courses. And I loved that because I knew I didn't want to do accounting, and I knew I didn't want to do finance. I did like HR, but I really connected with marketing. And I mean, it's hard to explain. Marketing is everywhere, every day, 24/7, and you might not even know it, but you are constantly being marketed to, whether it's a billboard on the side of the road, a commercial on television, somebody wearing something, and you spark conversation. There is marketing in everything, and being that I always love to shop and love to talk to people, I just really felt like that was a good fit for me. So my professors really helped me to figure out exactly what I wanted to do and kind of lead me down in the direction of where I am today. With marketing, you could be a lawyer if you wanted to. You could go into sales. You could work as a marketing product manager at a company, at a corporation. You could basically do anything. And pretty much, like, I would say with any degree you can do anything, but with marketing there's such a wide range and such a wide spectrum of jobs that for me, being that I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I graduated, but I knew I wanted to do something with marketing and products and stuff like that, it was a good segue for me. So I did graduate with my major was marketing with a Bachelor of Business degree, Bachelor of Business Administration, and from there I just started, talking to people. My mom was helping me out. My dad was helping me out. We were just a general conversation. Who was hiring, who wasn't. I mean, the economy was so much better 4 years ago when I got out of college than it is now. A lot easier to get in for an interview places now. God bless you if you're in that situation now, because I know how hard it is. But I ended up, out of my first job out of college, I ended up at corporate America, and I was there for about 3 years. My first job I did was inside sales, and I loved it. It was a little intimidating at first because I figured out that I really wanted to do sales, but the whole like calling on the phone and not seeing their facial expressions and not reading their body language, that was really, really tough for me at first because I had no sales experience. But at the same time, working in the corporate office really helped me to understand the back end of everything that the outside reps didn't get to see. So I really got to make relationships and network at my company. And so I knew whenever there was a question that would come up on a call, I knew exactly who to go to or what department, and it was just a good stepping stone for me. I think starting out, customer service too is if you're getting into a corporation, customer service is a great place to start because customer service literally deals with everybody in that whole company as well as the consumer. So I think finding out first maybe which company or which industry you want to be in is key. And then it's really just getting your foot in the door. Once you get your foot in the door and you land that job, whether it's the most awful job ever, your foot is still in the door, and then that way you can start working your way towards getting the exact job that you want and getting to know the right people to help you get there. I think it's all about that. Your first job might suck, and it might not be what you went to school for, and it might not be what makes you happy. It might kill you. But trust me, you put your time in, you get to know people, you make the best of it, you will land the job of your dreams, and you will have help getting there. I promise you that. You just really have to get your foot in the door. That's key. After about 3 years, I switched from inside sales to another department in the company, and it was okay, but I just realized that it just wasn't a good fit for me. The whole corporate America, it's just, I don't want to badmouth it. It just wasn't a good fit for me. The personalities, the 9 to 5, the structured, being in a cubicle, dealing with the same people every day, kind of expecting what you're going to do every day, the routine of it, it wasn't me. I'm a very personable person. I think that comes across my videos, and I didn't like the structure of it every day. I didn't like knowing what I was walking into every day. I like the flexibility. I like meeting different people. I like having different conversation. That was just me. So I ended up leaving the company that I was with and starting a new job in a whole different industry, but doing marketing and sales on the road. So that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm in sales and marketing, and for me, every day is different. I'm in and out of different offices, marketing with different people. Mainly it's like doctors' offices, office staff, things like that. And it's amazing the people that you meet, how small of a world it is. I mean, that's just amazing for me. Waking up every day and not knowing what your day is going to entail, but being excited to find out is really what keeps me going. And it's really, I love my job now so much more than the job that I was in for the past 3 years, the company that I was in for the past 3 years. And the company I was in was amazing. I have nothing bad to say about the company. It just wasn't the best fit for me. So if you start out of college with a job and you think, I don't know if this is for me or not, it certainly may not be the job for you, and that's okay. I mean, I'm 26 years old. I'm still really young. I guess when I first started at the company, I was like, oh, I'm gonna retire here. This is gonna be great. And then once you start getting to know more about the company and know more about the position you're in, you might really change your mind, and you change as a person, not just with the jobs, but with guys that you meet or friends that you have. Like, the older you get, the more that you change, the more you become, the more opinionated you become, the more you get to know yourself better and know exactly what you want. And I think that really is going to help mold where you want to go. Would I love to be in the beauty industry right now? Heck yeah. This is like a hobby and a passion for me. Would I love to make a career out of it? Of course. But for me, it would be like starting at a retail counter, which I didn't want to do, or I'm not in a place, I'm not in a big city where there's all this opportunity to do that. If I was in a bigger city like New York or something and I had opportunities are endless there and different companies are all there, that would be great, and I probably would have tackled something like that. But the opportunities just aren't here. I wasn't willing to relocate. My family's here, my fiance's here, everything's here. And so I just kind of had to find something else that was going to make me happy. But I have to say right now, being in sales and marketing and not being in a cubicle and basically meeting someone new every day and having those different conversations and just getting to know people, that's what makes me really happy. And I love my new job now. So all in all, the message I just kind of want to get across is don't be nervous if you're in college right now and you don't know what you want to do, or you graduated college and you're realizing that maybe what you went to school for isn't what you want to do. That's okay. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. You just really, number one, I always tell people when they ask me, you have to find out what you love to do and figure out how to make a career out of it. And like for me, yeah, I love makeup and I love the fashion industry and everything like that, but there isn't opportunities for where I live. So I had to find the next thing, and I knew I loved talking to people, and I loved marketing, and that's what I went to school for, and I'm applying my degree, and so I really had to find something that was going to make me happy. You could be making all the money in the world, but if you are miserable at your job, it's not going to matter. And I will tell you from experience, I have had jobs where I was making amazing amounts of money and I was absolutely miserable and would be coming home in tears every day because I was so unhappy, and it never mattered. And people would always say, but look what you're making at your age. And I would always say, it doesn't matter. I'm miserable doing this. I would rather make $10,000 a year doing something that I love and being happy and excited to go to work every day. That's just me. Money is great, yes, and it makes some people's worlds go round, but money doesn't buy happiness. Money buys nice things, but it does not buy happiness. And while things might make us happy, it's only going to be for that short amount of time, and then you're going to be looking for the next best thing to make you happy. So I think it's super important to just be happy. Even if it means taking a pay cut, even if it means relocating if you can or if you want to, even if it means taking a job way down here at a company that you ultimately want to be at and working your way up. I just think you need to make yourself happy and find whatever it is that's going to make you happy. You might have to change some things or alter some things, or maybe switch your major in school, which is totally okay. I mean, I switched my major from pharma to business, and I only went to school for a semester in the summer. Big deal. You know, I came out, graduated. It was the best decision I ever made, switching from pharmaceuticals to marketing. I love where I'm at now. I loved the experience that I got at my college, and I love the resources that were available. I truly don't think I would be as prepared or knowledgeable if it weren't for the university and the program that I came from. If you are just starting out to go to college, I would definitely do your research, find out if you want to go to a big school, a small school, a city school, a country school, and just find out what's going to make you happy, and then you're going to have to put some work in. I mean, nothing is handed to you. Nothing was ever handed to me. I really worked my butt off. But another thing I do want to say is I know some people aren't the best with interviews, and I know interviewing is such a nerve-wracking process. God knows I've been through way too many interviews, and I'm only 26. Sometimes, like my first interview, I think I went through like 7 people, and that is intimidating. But you just have to really sell yourself. It's okay to come off a little bit confident, not cocky, but confident. I think having a good resume is hugely important, because that's really going to sell yourself before you can actually get in and speak to them. That's what somebody's going to see, and that's what's going to make them decide if it's worth it bringing you in or not for an interview. So I think having a good resume, maybe giving it to a couple people in different companies or throughout your life that you know, to just kind of proofread and, you know, exchange ideas, I think that's great. I feel like I have an eyelash in my eye. Another thing as far as interviews go, know the company, know what you're going to. And I will put a link to a website that I, to this day, use. Well, I haven't used it in a while, but it's a website that really helped me to research the company. And I think it's hoovers.com or something like that. But basically the message is, know what you're going into. And the interview, while it's a lot of them asking you questions and them interviewing you, don't feel like you can't ask them questions. I mean, people love to talk about themselves. So if you start asking them questions, it will kind of take the limelight off you, and it's really going to give you a good feel for if it's a good fit for you. The number one question that I always ask in an interview is, tell me what you don't like about this company. And they will be honest with you. Tell me what you do like about this company. Tell me what you would change if you could change something about this company. How long have you worked at this company? Come up with questions, write them down, and you can go in with a portfolio and you can ask them these questions. I promise you they will be more than happy to answer them. But again, don't just think that the interview is for them to get to know you. You want to make sure that it's a good fit for you as well. If you're hearing everything in this interview and they're answering your questions and the answers aren't really what you want to hear, then that might not be a good fit for you. Also, you can set up an informational interview with just about any company, and I would recommend that too. Like if you think you might want to work here or in that industry, call up their HR department, tell them that you're currently in college and that you would love to come in for an informational interview. They'll hook you up with somebody in the department, and that's where you can basically ask all your questions without the pressure of applying for a job, and that will really help you figure out if it's something that would be good for you. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, and I would highly, highly encourage you to interview them as much as they're interviewing you, because you really want to make sure you're going to be happy there. Ask them, where you see the company going in 5 years. Ask them, I don't know, has the company changed? What's it like working for blah, blah, blah? Is it a more team approach? Is it a more individual approach? I really like working on teams. Some people are better working on their own. So these are all things you really need to take into consideration. But like I said, I'll link a website where you can basically type in any company name and it will give you all the facts and figures, the CEO's name, all the stuff you need to know. When you're talking in the interview, you really want to know and sound like you know what you're talking about. If you get into an interview at, let's just say, I don't know, Apple, and you don't know anything about their products, that's not going to look very good for you. You want to be passionate about what you're talking about. You want to be excited to work there. You want them to see how excited you are to work there. You want to make them understand why they should pick you instead of somebody else that might even have better qualifications, higher GPAs, more work experience. You are ultimately selling yourself, and if you can sell yourself, they will take you over someone that has higher qualifications. Personality is huge, and how you work with other people and how you handle situations, huge. So I think that's it. I think I was going to write down kind of things I wanted to say, but I think I covered all the big points. As far as college goes, I mean, work hard, it will pay back in the long run. That 4 years of college was the best experience of my life. I have made some of the best friends I will ever meet, and it has also helped me land amazing jobs. So don't expect to party your 4 years away and then land a great job, because I can tell you that that's not going to happen unless, of course, your dad is friends with the CEO of Apple or something, and then you just have a shoe-in. But also, get involved in your school, get involved in your programs, do stuff on the weekends, run the events. You never know who you're going to run into or who you're going to talk to. And the more you get involved in the school and the more people that you get to talk to, you never know where that's going to end up for you. It can't hurt. Take business cards whenever you can. Even if it's something you don't think would have any interest for you, take their business card. You never know. I have like stacks of business cards that I probably collected for the past 5 years, and half of them I probably wouldn't even give a second thought to, but you never know if maybe one of your friends is trying to get in somewhere and then you can help them out. Like, the more information, the better. Just be a sponge, soak it all up. I think the payback would be amazing. I hope the payback would be amazing, but ultimately you just want to be happy. So hopefully you will find what you love to do and make a career out of it. And like I said, don't get depressed and down on yourself if you think you might know and you truly had no idea you were gonna. I mean, when I started at my company, I thought it was gonna be great, and I ended up really not being too happy there and leaving and finding something that truly does make me happy. And I realized that as great as corporate America is, it's just not for me, and that's perfectly okay. What I'm doing might not be for everyone, and that's fine too. So I hope that this video was helpful and kind of what you guys expected. Like I said, I hope this reaches at least one person and helps in some way if you're feeling down on yourself, or if you're, questioning what you're doing. I hope that this helps you. Don't be so hard on yourself. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I hope this was worth the wait. I know I had you guys wait a long time. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And I hope this was good. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.